Subject Python for problem solving. Topic looping or iteration statement, prepared by Professor Prabhu Shankar. Iteration statement or looping statements. In general, the statements are executed sequentially. The first statement in a function is executed first, followed by second, and so on. There are many of situations when you need to execute a block of code several number of times. A loop statement allows us to execute a group of statements multiple times. Repeated execution of set of statements is called iterations. The programming language provides various control structures that allow for more complicated execution paths. Python has two statements for iteration and additional one techniques also used. The types of looping statements: one is for loop and while loop, and last one nested loop. So today our topic iteration statements or looping statements. The topic today covers for loop, while loop, nested loop. For loop execute a sequence of statements multiple times and abbreviates the code that manages the loop variables. The for loop in Python repeats the group of statements for a specific number of times. It is used with the Python sequence data type like string, list, tuples. The for loop in Python starts with the keyword for followed by an arbitrary variable name, which holds its value in following sequence of objects. See the syntax. The for loop, for is a keyword, I arbitrary variable, in the range. How many times this for loop want to execute? That is the range. You will see this later. The end with semicolon. So how many statements we want to execute put into indent, that is called body of the for loop. That is a syntax. And then flowchart. The for loop check the condition. The condition true means execute body of the loop. So it repeatedly executes when this condition goes false. When the condition reach false, it come out of the loop. See the small example, display the numbers. N, we have to set the limit. The for loop execute 4 times. For I is arbitrary variable in the range. We specify the range function 0, n. So it takes 0 to 4. So the for loop execute 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 times execute. That value also print. See the output. This for loop first take its I value 0, display I, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3. So when reach I value 4, this condition false. So the for loop terminates the loop. So we will discuss about the range function. The range function, the sequence of numbers are also generated by using range function. The range is defined with the start element, stop element, and step size. The start element, there we have to start the for loop. We take it as 0 to 5. So the for loop executes 0 to 4, 5 times executes. Where we have to finish, that is the end element or stop element. The step size, difference between two values, that is step size. Default step size is equal to 1 by default. If not provided, the range function is usually in combination with the for loop. So the start element, we have to specify the starting value. The stop element, we have to specify the end value. The step size by default 1. So we need to specify any value, means we have to specify. But consider 0 to 10 times that for loop want to execute. So start value is 0 and stop value 10 means that for loop display 0 to 9. The step size by default 1, it takes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we are increasing step size 2, it displays 0 2, 4, 6, like that. So depends upon the step value, this for loop will execute. While loop, another type of looping statement or iteration statement. While loop statement in Python is used to repeatedly execute set of statements as long as given condition is true. In while loop, test expression is checked first. The body of the loop is entered only if the test expression is true. After one iteration, the text expression is checked again. This process continues until the text expression evaluates to false. In Python, the statement body is determined through indentation. Python interprets any non-zero value as true, or none and 0 are interpreted as false. So while loop, any particular statement or group of statements want to execute again with condition. We go for while loop. So here we see difference between for and while loop. Both for loop and while loop are used to repeating section of code or block of code. But unlike a for loop, the while loop will not run n times. The run until the defined test condition is met. If the test condition is false, it comes out of the loop. That's the difference. So we will see syntax flowchart example next slide. This is syntax for while loop. First, set the initial value, how many times that loop want to execute. While, check the condition, end with semicolon. What are the statement you want to execute? That is called body of the loop within indent. That's all. Flowchart. Check the condition. That condition true means enter the body of the loop. Again return. Again check the condition. That condition true means enter the body of the loop. So when condition goes false, exit the loop. The statement just below while. So every entry it check the condition. That is called while loop. See small example, we display hello Greek for 3 times. Here else block, in the example I used else block, the else block is optional. Say count value 0, so initial value 0, while check the condition count less than 3. So 0 less than 3, the condition is true. That is increment statement, count equal to count plus 1. Now count value increment 1. So now count value 1. First time print hello Greek. So when you go for else, that is while condition false, go for else until else not execute. Go to again, now count value 1, 1 less than 3, true. Count value increment 2, display second time hello Greek. Go to there, now count value 2, 2 less than 3, execute count value 3, print hello Greek third time. Now count value 3, 3 less than 3 condition false. Automatically call else block, end else block. So this is a way any particular or group of statement want to execute in a while. This is a method. So what is the beauty of while? Every entry of the loop check the conditions. Nested loop. Python programming language allow to use one loop inside another loop. That is called a nested loop. The loop within another loop, that is called a nested loop. Loop nesting is that you can put any type of loop inside of another type of loop. For example, the for loop can inside a while loop or vice versa. That's also possible in a Python or other language. Any loop within another looping statement. Suppose for loop inside you are using while loop, or while loop inside using for loop. So that is also called nested loop. That is a small syntax for while loop within a while loop. That is also small example of nested loop. So the while expression, that is the first while loop. That loop indented with one more while loop. So while expression. The second while statement to only execute statement yes. So once the inner statement condition goes false, then only execute outer statements. This is called beauty of nested for loop. So many applications or programmer that can choose their application either for loop or while loop or nested for loop. Else in for loop. The for loop we are using else block also, that is optional one. If the else statement is used in a for loop, the else statement is executed when loop has reached the limit. The statement inside for loop and statement inside else will also execute. So the for loop statement executes successfully, finally else block execute. The for loop, the condition goes false, else block finally execute. See the example. This for loop execute 1, 2, 6 for 5 times. So first I value take it as a 1, print 1, and then increment I value 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to display. Once the for loop executes successfully, else block going to execute. So the else block is optional in for loop. Else in while loop is say similar to our for loop. If else statement is used within a while loop, the else path will be executed when condition becomes false. The statement inside for and statement inside else will also execute. So see the example. So set the limit I equal to 1, starting value. See the while I greater than equal to 5. This loop executes 5 times, 1 to 5, because the condition we set less than equal to 5. So print I value I equal to I plus 1, that is the increment. So this loop repeatedly execute I value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once I value becomes 6, the while condition false. So automatically come to else block going to execute. In case, so during the runtime, the while rise the condition false, automatically the control transfer to else block, the else block also display. So the else block also optional in while loop. So in this video we discussed looping or iterating statements. We discussed for loop, while loop and nested loops. So thank you for watching this video.